Hi everyone, Mark Rhodes here, author of How to Talk to Absolutely Anyone. In this online seminar we're going to be going through the skill set and mindset that you need to develop to be able to talk to people you don't know, whether that's in a business situation or a social situation. So let's take a look at what we're going to be covering today. How do we overcome the hesitation to start talking to people, whether that's in a social or business work situation? So let's now take a look at hesitation. Well, hesitation usually comes about because we're overthinking things. What happens is we'll go to say something, the fear comes up, and we start to hesitate, and then we start to overthink what we were going to say. And we say what we're going to say so many times in our heads, or think about what the other person might think so many times that by the time we even think we might actually contribute and say something to the conversation, the moment has gone. Now, a very comparable situation, if you like, that I come across time and time again when I'm mentoring clients in the business world, which does align with speaking up and going to say something to somebody out in public, whether it's a business event or a social event as well. But is the business a situation of being in a meeting with a group of people, and you'll be amazed how many people in business raise this with me as an issue, that they're in a meeting, they're sitting around the table, they've got an idea to contribute to one of the points being discussed, and they hold back and hesitate and don't say anything. And the reason they hold back and hesitate and don't say anything is because over and over in their head, they're trying to talk through what they're going to say and figure out, will people think I'm stupid? Will they laugh at me if I'm wrong? Will I look really stupid and be really embarrassed if I get this wrong? And, you know, what I say to them is what happens, you see, is when you start to have those thoughts and the fear comes up and the hesitation comes in and the overthinking starts, the brain seems to freeze. It's almost like it gets stuck in a loop, whizzing round with the fear, the hesitation and the overthinking, and in the end we give up. Because what doesn't happen is the brain at that point in time doesn't sort of think, oh, in 5 minutes time this is going to be over anyway, and I'll survive it. It's almost as if the mind and the body connection convinces us that the world is ending and life is going to end if we were to say something and we were wrong, and people laughed. You know, I had this recently with a client, and she was saying to me that she didn't speak up because she thought the classic, as I've just mentioned, that people will laugh if I make a stupid comment and get something wrong. And the first thing I said to her, how likely is it that you're actually going to make a stupid comment? You know, you're a sensible lady, you're in your job, you know some things. Now, you may make a comment that's not completely right, or you may even make a comment that's wrong, but it's not going to be a stupid comment, is it? And anyway, let's say you do make a comment, it's wrong, and then everybody laughs. I said, and then what happens to you? She said, I feel embarrassed and stupid. And I said, and then what happens? So what? What happens next? And she said, well, nothing, I suppose. I guess after a little while, I'd have forgotten about it. You see, getting her to think through, and even to think through the worst happening and realise, you know, you do survive, it's not the end of the world, made her realise that there is reason to stop this hesitation and just go for it. You know, some other things we can do to get round hesitation and visualise it going well first. If we're planning to say something to somebody or speak up, visualise it going well. Imagine how good you'll feel after you've said it. You know, we need to realise that we're doing this to ourselves through our inner talk. Now, we all talk to ourselves with our inner voices 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're not the only one. But the trouble is, most of the time, this inner critic, as the voice is, needs to be an inner coach. So rather than have a little voice that's telling us we shouldn't do stuff, a voice that is encouraging us and motivating us that we can do things and we should go forward and take those actions that we know could lead to our happiness and success. Now, one funny thing you can do if you've got an inner voice that's saying, oh no, I'm really scared, I might make a mistake and everyone might laugh at me, or something like that, if that's part of your thought process that causes you to hesitate, is you can start saying those words out loud as you visualize yourself being in the situation. And what you can do is you can actually say the words out loud, and you'll see that you'll feel quite bad about the situation, and then do it again, but this time say the words in the voice of Donald Duck, for instance. Now that might sound really, really bizarre, but when I've got clients to repeat their inner talk with the voice of Donald Duck or one of the Muppets, and to do it over and over again about 10, 11, 12 times, something like that, what they realise is when they go to run that original fear and think about getting something wrong in a meeting or speaking up and somebody not liking it, what they realise is they can't stop themselves also thinking about the Donald Duck voice or the one of the Muppet voices, and that actually makes them smile a little and hence reduces the emotional turmoil of the situation that they're thinking about. You know, the other thing with speaking up and talking to people that we don't know is, you know, for a start, we can make it a lot easier by looking out for those that look friendly and open to a conversation. We can all tell, I'm sure, if we are somewhere and somebody's nearby and something comes to mind to say to them, perhaps a passing comment, we know in that moment whether that person looks like they're probably going to be open to a conversation. Thanks for joining me on this webinar, and I look forward to helping you again in the future.